very good morning to you all. So today we are going to learn how to write a editorial letter. So now we'll see what is an editorial letter. So it's a letter written to an editor of publication or newspaper or to a magazine, and it also abbreviated as LTTE, that is letter to the editor, or LTE, letter to editors. So editorial letters are sent to a publications about issues of concern from its readers. So for example, if you have any concerns on problems in your apartment or your workplace, or whether it's a public issue, you can mention your concern and send that to any publication, asking them to highlight it in their newspaper. So these kind of letters are known as a editorial letter. So here are some points need to be taken into consideration while writing a formal letter. A formal letter strictly follows the prescribed format for writing a formal letter. So in the next slide we will be seeing the format of editorial letter. So there should not be any changes in that. Use of colloquial words, abbreviations and slang language should be restricted while writing a formal letter. So while writing a formal letter, you should not use any colloquial, that is local or informal words, and you should not use any abbreviations or slang languages also. So these are all the things restricted while writing a formal letter. Next one is, a formal letter must be precise and to be point. So the content of the formal letter must be very precise. It should be very accurate and to the point. It should not be very long like a story. The next one is subject line. The subject line is very important in a formal letter. So finally, subject line is very important since it conveys the main purpose of the letter. So these are the points need to be taken into consideration while writing a formal letter. So the format of an editorial letter follows like this. First you have to write the sender's address in the right side corner, and after that you have to write the date. Next the receiver's address, then comes the subject and salutation. Here subject and salutations can be interchanged. You can write salutation first, after that you can write the subject, or you can write the subject and the salutation. Next is the body of the letter, and then comes complimentary closing, and finally the sender's name and the signatures. If the designation is mentioned in the question paper, you can write the designations below the signature, or it's optional, it's up to you. So we saw the format of editorial letter in the previous slide. So now let's see how to write an editorial letter and how the content should be. So first one is the sender's address. So sender address we'll write in the right side of the corner. Address and contact details of the sender should be written here. So if the details is not mentioned in the question paper, you can just write the block name, place or pin code on the sender's address, or you should write the details mentioned in the question paper. Next one is date. Date is written below the sender's address after leaving one space or line. That is, you can write 26th April 2020, or if it's November or December, you can write it in an abbreviated format, that is NOV or DEC. For March, April and all, you can write it as it is. Next one is receiver's address, and here the address details of the recipient should be written here. Next one is subject. So the main purpose of the letter forms the subject. So it should be written in one line, and it must convey the matter of which the letter is written. So whenever you see the subject of the letter, you should know what the content of letter is. So if the letter is regarding the accident made because of high speed, you can write it as high speed on national highway hyphen regarding. Regarding is very much important. You can write it as REG in an abbreviated format. Next one is salutation. Here you can greet the editor as sir or dear sir. You should not use respected sir here, because when you write a letter to a principal or to an employer, to your boss, you can mention respected sir, but for editorial letter you have to write dear sir or sir. Next one is the body of the letter. The letter should have a proper content, and so here you can divide it as a 3 parts: introduction, main content and conclusion. So here for the content part, you can learn how to write a body of the letter in the form of FCCS. F is facts or introduction, C is cause, C for consequence, and S for solution. I repeat, F for facts or introduction, C for cause, C for consequence, and S for solution. First, the content should have a proper introduction about you and the purpose of the letter. So if you have any doubts how to begin the letter, you can go for through the columns of your esteemed daily. Daily means newspaper. Second one, cause. So you should give the details of the cause about the problems you are facing and why the problems is happening. And third one is consequence. Consequence is future. So you can mention the consequence of the problems and what will happen in the future if the problem continues and so on. So fourth one is solution. So this is the important part where you conclude the letter. So here you should mention what you expect from the editor. For example, what people must do regarding the problem or what the youth should do, and you can mention about creating awareness of the issue by asking the editor to highlight it in their daily, in their newspaper. So after the conclusion, we'll move on to complimentary close. Here you will be thanking the editor, thanking you, and after that you will be writing yours sincerely or faithfully, truly. Here you have to be very careful with your spellings. And after that you'll be writing your name, sender's name. For example, Raghav or something. And if the designation is mentioned in the question paper, you will be writing the designation below the name, or it's optional. You don't have to write it. So this is how the content of editorial letter should be. So I hope you all understood how to write an editorial letter. So now you can try to write a sample editorial letter on your own. Thank you so much for watching.